Wednesday, November 21st edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East here with you. Pretty cold out there on this Wednesday morning, and this is typically one of, if not the busiest travel days of the year. And some really good news overall for much of the lower 48. We'll start off here in our area, in our region as a whole. No problems, no rain to show you. The adverse weather is on the other side of the country, from the Rockies back to the West Coast. Messy situation there for parts of Seattle and down to the rest of the western half, at least, of Washington State and into Oregon and California. Some snow and rain elevation dependent there in parts of Idaho and Montana. And again, you see that precipitation does extend down into northern California as well. But once you get east of the Rockies, things are very, very quiet today. And I'll show you some high temperatures across the lower 48 in just a second. Temperatures here in our region this morning pretty chilly. A lot of 30s on the board. And that's going to be the case again tonight. Yesterday we had highs in the upper 50s and lower 60s. I think a similar temperature scheme today, although probably most of us a couple of degrees warmer than what we had yesterday. The satellite and the radar imagery very, very quiet out there this morning. Just a big area of high pressure building in from the west. And again, once you get east of the Rockies, very, very quiet weather. And we'll show you some high temperatures across the region today. And again, if you're hitting the roads or the skies, just pick your spot. It looks pretty good. A lot of 50s, 60s, and 70s of the eastern U.S., even an 80-degree high in Dallas, 83 in Houston, a little cooler up toward the Midwest and the northern plains, but not bad. Even International Falls at 49 today. And again, Rockies to the West Coast, that's where there's some precip to deal with. And a lot of chillier high temperatures up that way. Now let's show you what's happening in the upper levels. This is the European model for today. And again, you can see that trough diving into the west coast. That is what will drive our next cold front our way. And that trough swinging into our region by Friday evening. That'll drive the cold front through and set us up for some colder weather over the weekend. Now next week, the European model showing another cold front Tuesday evening. And then way down the road, another front. Around Friday morning, another system trough swinging through on the European around Friday morning the 30th. I wanted to show you kind of a big picture setup here. This is the operational European model. We're looking at the northern hemisphere. A couple of features to note here. Notice big ridging up into Greenland. There's a pretty nice negative NAO setup taking shape as we get into early December. Now, on the European model, this is not ideal along the west coast. But when you see that type of ridging going up over Greenland, almost always you end up with a lot of cold air dumping into the eastern half of the lower 48. And we'll see as if that does indeed transpire by early December. I think there's a good chance it might. All right, day by day here. Today we're in great shape. Highs in the low 60s, with a lot of sunshine. Thanksgiving just fantastic. Yeah, Thanksgiving just looks fantastic with highs in the low and mid 60s in many spots in the Piedmont and plentiful sunshine. Black Friday, that cold front approaching, but it'll be a mild day still. Highs well into the 60s in many foothills and Piedmont locations. But then it does turn much chillier over the weekend. That's what it looks like for Saturday. And we'll see some highs in the foothills and the Piedmont really struggle to make 50. Pretty stiff northwest wind as well. So it's going to be much chillier over the weekend. Similar scenario, although not as breezy on Sunday. But that cooler air remaining in place. Looking out to that next system, there we are Monday, and then on Tuesday, you see the GFS bringing that next low pressure up to the Great Lakes with the trailing cold front approaching. Similar scenario on the European as well. The timing is a little bit quicker with the rain chance on the European on mainly Tuesday, and on the GFS it's mainly Tuesday night and Wednesday. But that's the type of error the difference I should say between the modeling that you'd expect to see in a 6 to 7 day forecast. All right, that is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and God bless.